call him TNT. And he does have the punching power. He is an explosive puncher going up against Chuck Gardner, who is 6'4", 231. Tony Tucker at 6'5", 200. The rep on Gardner has been a bit on the lazy side. Has to be pushed. The talent is there. He has worked hard for this fight and says he doesn't want to be embarrassed on national TV. First major exposure for Gardner out of Minneapolis, Minnesota. And his manager, Ron Peterson, says he really should be around 220, 218. Several months ago, he was up at...
You know how Vikings are. They lay around in the wintertime and eat a lot.
Gardner, an ex-Marine, served in Vietnam. This Dan Rowley, a 20-year policeman, back in Minneapolis. Tucker in the red as an amateur, 96-6, 71 knockouts. Among his victories, current pros James Quick Tillis and Mickey Goodwin. Tucker won the 79 Pan Am Games, light heavyweight championship, and the 1979 World Cup light heavyweight title. His interest in boxing generated at an early age by his dad, Bob Tucker, one-time professional fighter. Tony began boxing at the age of 9 and was guided by his father.
Well, he's being guided by a man that's been making champions right and left, Emmanuel Stewart right now. They have a timetable, 30 months to the championship. First step. Emmanuel Stewart has had a phenomenal streak with Hilmer Kinty, the lightweight champion, and the hitman, most feared man in boxing, Tommy Hearns, welterweight champion.
Tony Tucker, one of the most highly regarded young fighters in America.
Right now, the pace of this fight has been rather slow, lethargic. They're big heavyweights. I know Gardner, talking to a lot of people, going for a knockout. He wants to land at one clean punch, but it never comes when you wait that long. It's very, very slow right now. I'm amazed that Tony is letting him get away with this slow pace. Very fast, very active, and he should be stepping up the pace on this big, slow man.
Big, slow, overweight man.
Big, slow, overweight, tattooed Viking. Is just standing there and not doing that much.
This is round one. It's Marv Albert along with the fight doctor, Ferdy Pacheco, from Caesars Tahoe, Lake Tahoe, Nevada, on NBC Sports World. Tucker in a discovery round, just feeling it out as we come to the final seconds of this opening round. To round two, Emmanuel Stewart just told his man, Tony Tucker, you can do anything you want against a man like Chuck Gardner because he is a very ordinary fighter. And we might see some action here in the second round. Lots of C's.
I like the way Emmanuel talks to his fighters. It reminds me a lot of Angelo Dundee, the great cornerman. He's very calm, tells him exactly what he's doing wrong. Technically, he says he's standing too far. He's not playing a numbers game, which means he's not throwing enough punches. Now let's see if Tucker can follow it. If he just got, he said he's a little uptight at the first of this round. Now loosen up and start doing the numbers game. That first round was even, almost a lethargic, apathetic first round for both men.
And there is Emmanuel Stewart in the corner of Tony Tucker, the 21-year-old out of Grand Rapids, Michigan, making his professional debut.
Emmanuel Stewart, a gentleman and a great teacher of boxers. He taught all the amateurs around Detroit, and that crop is coming in for him now. We're going to see a lot of champions coming out of Detroit, Michigan. Because of this man, Emmanuel Stewart.
Tony Tucker, an outstanding all-around athlete, played football, basketball, and baseball at Union High School in Grand Rapids. Tony has tried some unusual training techniques, but he once tried chopping trees, and he broke the axe. Halfway through, second round.
The punches are now starting to get hard. Gardner is looking for that one knockout punch. Alonzo Johnson has trained him, formerly a great heavyweight, and worked with Muhammad Ali so many years, has got him ready for a knockout. He knows the knockout on television will get him right up to good, meaningful fights.
And Tony Tucker Tucker, no stranger to NBC Sports World. He was featured in many appearances as part of the Muhammad Ali Boxing Club as an amateur.
Tony is still tight. He's still not taking it to him. He's still not cutting the distance. He has not followed Emmanuel's instructions this time. And that result is Gardner's gotten a lot braver. His punches are a lot more meaningful.
Left hand got in by Tucker. That's his best. So the best flurry of the bout thrown by Tony TNT Tucker. First the left hand and then the follow.
Good combination. Very fast. Caught corner. Off balance. He's in good shape. He knows what's coming up. Tucker is surprisingly slow getting over to finish his man.
15 seconds left. Round 2. There you see it counting down. And as you say, Tucker did not go for the knockdown after he had him in trouble.
On the button and the right to follow. Now here's another angle at, but you will see him pulling back from a punch, the cardinal sin for a fighter. He's pulling back. He has nowhere else to go, and here comes the left catching him completely back. That's a perfect example of why not to pull back from a punch. He was losing the round until the knockout, and then pulled the round out. The first round was even. Tucker takes the second round, but he was not anxious, did not show killer instinct to go after his man and finish him before the bell. That result is third round action begins.
Tony Tucker in the red and Chuck Gardner in the white. We're scheduled for 6. Heavyweight matchup. Tucker 6'5", 200 with the left hand from Gardner. And Gardner goes 6'4", 231. Has come down from 250. Gardner's last fight back in September in Chicago, he knocked out Triple Bear Williams in round 2.
Gardner is certainly not a defensive fighter or a fine fighter. He leaves himself totally open when he throws. It's up to Tucker's speed now to take advantage of his wildness. He is totally open. A good counterpuncher would take his head off.
And Tony Tucker opening up very cautiously once again. Goes to the body with the left hand. That did not do damage. Referee is Jay Mady. That's how Tucker able to land.
Reminds me of a coiled up snake. He just looks like he's waiting, and then all of a sudden he unleashes 2 or 3 blindingly fast punches. There goes 2.
Doubled up with the left hand. Tony Tucker, a great amateur, making his professional debut. Be careful. He was guided by his father through championships in the Junior Olympics, 4 Michigan Golden Gloves titles, National AAU titles, and the Pan American and World Cup championships. 96-6, 71 knockouts in his amateur debut. Amazing that Gardner did not go down.
Break up. He flew all the way across the ring. Tony again is standing back looking at a guy. Tony is showing the difficulty in the transition between the amateur and pro. Where Tony Ayala showed no difficulty, Tucker is.
That left hand by Tucker, and Gardner is hurting.
Gardner wants to fall down, he just hasn't been hit hard enough.
Right now, Gardner is a punching bag, and there he goes. Hey, over there, over there. 3. Second knockdown 5 for Tucker. 6. That's 7. The time remaining in the round. 8. 9. And it's 10. Go over. Did not get up. So with 2 seconds left in round 3, Tony Tucker fighting a very cautious fight, able to knock down Chuck Gardner in round 2 and puts him away here in round 3.
Hey, bring him down. your first fight for the championship.
Tony Tucker with a successful professional debut. Emmanuel Stewart just told Tucker, well, that's your first fight in the march to the championship.
Gentlemen, 2 minutes and 58 seconds into round 3. The winner in his professional debut by knockout.
I got it.
Here's that right hand that knocked out the mouthpiece of Chuck Gardner. That's the one that led to the eventual knockout. And from another